This is Joy Roland, and you are listening to the Joyful Money Podcast. This is episode number 59. Can money be joyful? Welcome to Joyful Money, the podcast where we focus on making money fun and joyful. We're done with the stress and anxiety that typically come with money. This podcast will teach you how to make money, lots and lots of it, and still be joyful, happy, abundant, and fulfilled. Because let's face it, money is just a small part of life. Are you ready to add more joy to your money? In. Everybody, welcome to episode number 59 of the Joyful Money Podcast. As you may have noticed, we've rebranded. We are now Joyful Money because I noticed that in the world today, money is such a source of stress, anxiety, and it causes depression, causes so many relationships to break down. And so I want to make this podcast, Joyful Money, the place where people can come to learn how to make money joyful. So, before I start, I wanted to remind you that there is still time to enter into the $1,000 giveaway. The winner will be announced in mid May. And if you haven't left me a review yet, please go leave a meaningful review so that someone else can have a sense of what this podcast is about. Once you write your review, it takes Apple Podcast about 7 days to make your review live. So make sure you plan for enough time because I can only accept reviews that have been published. So make sure you give yourself enough time for your review to be published. I'm so excited to announce the winner. I think it's going to be on the 25th of May. So if you go into the show notes, you see the link, all the details on the website on how you can write up an Apple podcast review and when the winner will be announced on the podcast. So joyful money. Is it even possible for money to be joyful? Can money be joyful? I think so. I think money can be joyful because I think many people seem to forget that money is just one part of our lives. It's just one part of the human experience, but it seems to have taken over the entire life of a human being because we wake up thinking about how to make more money, how to save, how to invest. We worry about the stock market, we worry about the interest rate, I will worry about paying our children's school fees. We worry about paying the mortgage. We worry about so many things. And it seems all of the things we worry about is about money. And I'm thinking, well, this wasn't how it was supposed to be. If you go back to the beginning in the Bible, when God created Adam and Eve, He actually placed them in abundance. He said, go have dominion over the sea, over the land. Like he gave them everything they needed to thrive, to be successful. But somewhere along the line, we definitely lost the plot. And money has become such a source of angst, a source of anxiety, a source of depression. When you look at the statistics in the US, most relationships and most marriages fail because of money issues, issues with finances. And even when you look at the rate of anxiety and depression, when you take a poll of people on the street and you ask them, what's the number one thing you think about? It's always money. And I'm like, do you ever think that there is a life after money? Yes, there is. Because I believe that time is our most precious asset. And when we kind of waste time um, thinking about money, thinking about making it, thinking about all of the things related to money, we miss the true essence of life. I think it kind of robs us of access to our ingenuity, access to our strategic thinking. Because can you imagine if money was not an issue, if money was not um, something we had to worry about? So just picture this for one moment. Imagine you had $1 billion. There's billion with a B. You have $1 billion in your account. Maybe investing account or any other investments, or maybe even cash. Imagine you have $1 billion, $1 billion. What would you spend your life doing? Like, I'm not talking about just spending frivolously and being mindless about how you spend. I'm talking about what would you actually do with your life? Like, when you wake up in the morning, what would you do? What would your life look like? What kind of work would you do? Because obviously, you wouldn't just sit by the beach, right? You wouldn't just cross your leg and sit by the beach because that's the fastest way to your grave, I think. There has to be a way where you keep your mind working. So, what would it be for you? How would you spend your waking hours? How would you use that money? How would you live your life? What kind of impact would you make in the world? How available would you be to your family? How available would you be to your children? The other day, about a couple of months ago, my daughter, she's 5 now, and she told me, Mommy, you work too much. You're always on your computer. And she goes, Can you come play with me? Like, that really got to my heart. I'm like, oh my goodness. She's just 5 and she recognizes that I'm constantly on my computer working. And so I felt like I was kind of robbing her of having a present mom because at the end of the day, all she cares about is she wants a mom who is present. She wants a mom who was there for her. But, well, technically, in her mind, she wants me to just come play with her, right? But there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance between trying to make more money and being present for our families. See, about 5 years ago, I think I watched a documentary, and in that documentary, it was in the UK, and the documentary was about people who were at their end of life, people who um, were just close to the end. And this documentary was about interviewing them and asking them about how they lived their lives. And one of the questions they asked was, What's one thing you regret? And 100% of the time, these people said, so they interviewed about 15 people. These people said, I wish I had spent more time with my family. And that really struck a chord with me. And I'm like, wow, on people's dying bed, they don't regret not making more money. They regret not having spent time with the people they love. And I'm like, so then why do we have it upside down? If our most precious asset is our time, why have we allowed the making of money to consume us so much that it affects the quality of time and experiences we have with our families? So I am on a mission to change that. And what that means is it is possible to be joyful around money. It is possible to be joyful around first the making of money and two the investing, the making money grow, the spending, just the entire psychology around money. It is possible for money to just be just one small aspect of our lives. just one small aspect of our life, and we can then focus on what makes life worth living. Now, I always think about this example when I talk to my clients. Imagine Oprah. Oprah, I think, now has enough money, well, more money than she knows what to do with in a lifetime. And so, more recently, in the recent years, she's been more focused on spirituality, um, trying to delve deep and uh, know more about the human existence, right? So if you listen to our podcast, if you listen to all of the things she puts out in social media, it's more delving into the soul, the spirit, right? All of the interviews she does. And so I ask myself, if she didn't have money sorted out, do you think she would have the mental capacity to do the work she's doing now? The answer is no. So I believe we are actually robbing ourselves of what's possible when we get so overwhelmed about money. Because imagine if you didn't have to worry about money. Imagine the mental capacity you would have. Imagine how you would be more of a strategic thinker. Imagine how you'll be more ingenious, like you would access your human ingenuity more when you don't have all of the money stress. So, how do we become more joyful about money? How do we transform our relationship with money and change it from being a source of this angst, anxiety, depression? How do we turn that around? I came up with five things. The first one is to shift our mindsets. And that's very obvious. The first step in finding joy in your finances is to change how you think about money. Instead of thinking about money as a necessary evil, consider money as a tool that can help you create the life you want. Money can provide comfort, it can provide security, it can provide access to opportunities, it can allow you to experience new things, meet new people, and even help others by giving. So we have to change our mindset. Money is just a tool, and I think we have to return back to who God created us to be. God created us to be the abundant human being He wanted us to be. So, you right now, an aspect of you is the wealthy, infinite self of you. You have to return back to that self. So, that self isn't missing, that self is just hidden. We've just deviated from who God created us to be. And I think we have to go back and claim our identity as the people who were put on this earth to experience abundance. So, mindset shift, I think, is the first step. Number two is to be courageous. To be courageous to look at your finances. I cannot tell you the number of women that come to me and tell me they haven't looked at their finances for over 2 years. Yes, because they just felt, oh, what's the point? You know, many times people are afraid of what they're going to find, so they just pretend everything is okay. But pretending everything is okay is actually hurting us. So when you don't know how much you're paying in interest rates, when you don't know what charges are being charged to your accounts, like what you don't know, especially in finances, can actually hurt you. So the second step is to take the courage and look at your finances. Okay, that's how I think you're going to find peace with money, so that, like, at the very least you have a baseline. You know, okay, this is where I'm at with money, this is how much comes in every month, and this is how much I spend every month. And then you analyze and say, okay, what am I actually spending money on? Am I spending on things I value? Or am I spending money on things I regret after 6 months? So, this is what I call regret free spending. I tell my clients before you spend, think about yourself, your future self 6 months further down the line. Are you going to feel regret about the money you're about to spend, or are you going to have peace? I think that's how you judge when you're about to spend money. And then step number three is to build a business you love. Yes, this is absolutely critical because when you work in a business you love, it becomes easier. When I say easier, I'm referring to our nervous system. So, our subconscious mind ultimately is there to keep us safe. So, when we used to live in a cave, our subconscious mind was there to keep us safe from wild animals, to keep us safe from any threat around us, so that we can be alive and reproduce and have more children. Okay? But even now, in our present society, we don't necessarily have all of those threats anymore from wild animals. But our subconscious mind doesn't know that. It reads stress as something to run away from. So this is why many people struggle to actually move to the next income level, because your subconscious mind thinks that making more money will bring more stress. So if you have a business, for example, and whenever you sit to work on your business, your nervous system experiences stress. Now, your nervous system will send that information to your subconscious, and then your subconscious knows, oh, making money is actually stressful. Why would we want to make more? So, your subconscious mind will do everything possible to keep you stuck at the same income level. This is why many people struggle with procrastination, overwhelm, imposter syndrome. Yes, these are the ways your subconscious mind keep you stuck. So when you sabotage yourself, people ask, why do I keep self-sabotaging myself? Well, now you know. Your subconscious mind doesn't think it is safe to make more money. That's why you keep sabotaging yourself. That is why you keep procrastinating. That is why you keep feeling imposter syndrome. Because when you feel all of these things, guess what happens? You hide, right? You don't make offers. You don't tell people about your business. You don't sell your services. You feel like sales is icky. Okay, so now you know why you're stuck at the same income level. These are all of the things I help clients with in my Income Accelerator Mastermind. Because here's the thing, once you understand all of these things, making money becomes easier. Yes, now you know, oh, I see. This is why I am self sabotaging myself. This is why I feel overwhelmed all of the time. It's just your subconscious mind trying its best to keep you safe. And it's doing this in your best interest. That's what your subconscious mind thinks. Okay? Now, step number four, I think, is to invest in experiences, not just stuff. Now, I like to talk about lifestyle creep. So this is where people upgrade their lifestyle to match their incomes. So, for example, if you're currently earning $100,000, you have a certain level of lifestyle. If you start earning a quarter of a million, $250,000, guess what? For most people, their lifestyle will increase to match their new income. Yes. So I usually advise that you invest in experiences instead of buying more stuff, because right now the world is stuck in consumerism. People want bigger TVs, they want bigger cars, they want bigger houses, right? But investing in experiences, I think, will make us more joyful. What do you value? Because experiences will kind of keep the memories of the time you spend with families, to keep that longer. And research has actually shown that investing in experiences actually expands our capacity for happiness and joy. So instead of buying more stuff, filling your house with things you don't need or value, consider investing in experiences. And the last tip I have for you to make money joyful is to make financial goals, turn them into a game. Yes. You see, our brain is structured in a way that it likes to have a dopamine hit. So when you gamify your financial goals, your brain loves it. So, for example, if your goal is to save for a down payment for a rental property, for example, let's say you already have a house you live in, which you own, and you want to invest in a rental property, and you say, okay, every month I want to save $700 towards the down payment of my rental property. If you gamify that, your brain will love it. So, for example, you buy a jar of beads and you say, for every $700 I save per month, I'm going to take this one bead and put it in the jar. Your brain loves that. Your brain loves like to gamify things. And I think that's one of the ways we can just reduce the stress around money, the stress around anything to do with making money, paying off debt. Yes, that's a huge one. I'm going to be talking about paying off debt in subsequent episodes because research has shown that over 85% of American households carry debt, carry large amounts of debt. And I think this is one of the reasons why people suffer when it comes to money. So I'm going to be addressing debt a lot, and I'm going to be addressing that from the point of view of, first of all, paying off debt, but still delving into the deeper parts of why people go into debt in the first place. Because what I'm seeing is people pay off debt and then they go back into debt again. So it's like a cycle. And so when we delve in and we break that cycle, it becomes easier to stay out of debt. Okay. So I hope you have some tips today on how to make your money joyful. I look forward to hearing how this is landing for you. Send me a DM on Instagram or on Facebook. Do you have any questions on what I shared so far? I love hearing back from you listeners. Maybe you don't agree with some of the things I said. Maybe you have questions. Yes, I am open to questions as well. So send me your questions, send me your comments. If you had any haha moments, let me know. I'll see you back here on the next episode. Hey, very quickly before you go, if you are ready to finally fix your relationship with money so that you make lots and lots of it while feeling joyful, abundance, free, and fulfilled, then I invite you to join my 2-day Income Accelerator event where I will personally teach you how to accelerate your income while having more joy in your life. And did I mention it's free? Yes, it's free. The link is in the show notes. I'll see you there. Bye bye.